Talk now, though, to Richard Holden, MP, Shadow Paymaster General. He's down, I think, in Westminster for us. Richard, very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Mike. Nice to hear you.
Yeah, good to see you. Big week this coming up, obviously. Donald Trump's inauguration today. Fascinating what's going on in America with the way that he's kind of dismantling the wokery that's been gripping that country for the last 4 years under Joe Biden. A lot of our listeners and viewers this morning, Richard, very, very galvanised by Donald Trump and by him coming in and hoping that it's going to...
On behalf of His Majesty's Government and the United Kingdom, I would like to send my warmest congratulations to President Trump on his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States. For centuries, the relationship between our two nations has been one of collaboration, cooperation, and enduring partnership. It is a uniquely close bond. Together, we have defended the world from tyranny and worked towards our mutual security and prosperity. With President Trump's long-standing affection and historical ties to the United Kingdom, I know that depth of friendship will continue. The United Kingdom and the United States will work together to ensure the success of both our countries and deliver for people on both sides of the Atlantic.
We're delving into one of the most heated controversies in British politics today. A transatlantic showdown that's sending shockwaves through the special relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom. This is no ordinary political dispute. It's a high-stakes spectacle fueled by personal rivalries, international diplomacy, and the uncertain future of US-UK relations.
Of the inauguration process.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, but I mean, does it not also suggest that there's something that the Prime Minister might have done to mean that he would be excluded from it?
If there is anything that they've done, then that...
But before we continue, let me ask a quick favour. If you're enjoying this content, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Believe it or not, over 98% of you watch these videos without hitting the subscribe button. It's completely free and helps us a lot. Have you done it yet? Thanks a ton. Now back to the video.
It's back in the headlines again because Sir Keir Starmer's deal has been delayed over, well, a whole host of reasons really, but it boils down to a lot of concerns over Chinese influence.
Today, all eyes are on a brewing diplomatic storm between US President Donald Trump and UK leader Keir Starmer, in a move that underscores Trump's reputation for valuing loyalty and holding grudges. He's excluded Starmer from a key upcoming diplomatic meeting. But what sparked this bold decision? What's behind this escalating tension, and what could it mean for the future of US-UK relations? Let's break it all down.
I don't think that either Donald Trump or his inner circle have any time or respect for Keir Starmer. He embodies everything that they hate.
And can I? It's clear that Trump has zero respect for Keir Starmer. Known for holding grudges, Trump has consistently emphasised that loyalty is non-negotiable in his political playbook. And his expectations don't stop at his inner circle. They extend to international leaders as well. Cross him and the repercussions are swift, public, and often brutal.
Problems because Donald Trump has attacked him, Elon Musk has attacked him as well. Trump says it is a very big mistake by increasing the windfall tax on North Sea oil and gas. And basically he's saying you're an idiot because you need to be fracking. We want cheap energy in this country. And then
Keir Starmer's tenure as leader of the UK Labour Party has firmly placed him in Trump's line of fire. The tension stems largely from Starmer's open support for Trump's political rivals during the last US presidential election. Under Starmer, the Labour Party openly aligned with the Democrats, with some MPs even campaigning for Kamala Harris, an act Trump likely saw as more than just political opposition, but a personal affront. Unsurprisingly, this move didn't sit well with the former president. Many within the UK political establishment are dismissing Starmer's exclusion as normal, claiming it's not unusual for a foreign leader to miss out on an invitation. But when you consider the historically close ties between the US and the UK, can it really be called normal for the leader of the opposition to face such a blatant and public snub?
The Labour Party here in the UK. Do you think Keir Starmer will see? I mean, you know, if Donald Trump does well and the economy booming, bearing in mind the US economy has done better than pretty much any other Western economy since lockdown. When you know they got cheap, affordable energy.
Yep.
They think their prices are too high at the moment. Whoa, Keir Starmer, Ed Miliband, hold my beer, right? I mean, we are off the scale.
The UK-US relationship has long been one of the most vital and enduring partnerships in global politics. However, under the current Labour leadership, this once strong bond appears to be facing mounting tensions. Donald Trump is not one to follow traditional diplomatic protocols. He prizes strength, decisiveness, and loyalty above all else. In Trump's eyes, these are the traits that define a true ally on the global stage. And Keir Starmer, by his standards, has fallen short on every front.
Trump's presidential campaign has made a legal complaint against the Labour Party here for what it claims is illegal foreign contributions and interference in the US election. A statement from the Trump-Vance campaign says the far-left Labour Party has inspired Kamala's dangerous liberal policies and rhetoric. In recent weeks, they've recruited and sent party members to campaign for Kamala in critical battleground states, attempting to influence our election.
The Labour Party's vocal backing of Trump's opponents during the election wasn't just political, it was seen as a direct betrayal. This move carries significant consequences for the UK's position in global diplomacy. In Trump's eyes, actions matter more than rhetoric. By excluding Starmer from this pivotal diplomatic meeting, Trump is making a bold statement: loyalty trumps ideological differences. Finally, quote, and in this instance, Starmer's refusal to back Trump's leadership is having tangible repercussions for the UK.
Good luck with your inauguration, President Trump. I look forward to our special relationship maintaining itself for years to come. I said it as a joke. Alex Phillips went to the inauguration, Sir Keir Starmer didn't get invited. Liz Truss is at the inauguration. Donald Trump, Starmer didn't get invited. I think this man is, fresh from sending people to help Kamala Harris lose, that's going to get right under the Trump skin. I just think he's an inconsequential human being, increasing.
This exclusion goes far beyond a personal slight. It's a calculated move with the potential to reshape future international relationships, trade deals, and military alliances. For a nation that prides itself on its special relationship with the United States, it's undeniably embarrassing to see its opposition leader so publicly sidelined. The underlying reasons are clear. Starmer's outspoken criticism of Trump, echoed by figures like David Lammy and Sadiq Khan, has not been forgotten. And Trump's response leaves little doubt about his feelings.
You have a man from Europe, I don't know if he's here, I saw him backstage. What he did was, and what he is doing is sort of what we did a few years ago. He's doing a great job. He's always been my friend for some reason. He liked me, I liked him. And he's shaking it up pretty good over there. He was the big winner of the last election in the UK, and he's a very spectacular man, very highly respected, Nigel Farage.
Loyalty has always been a cornerstone of Donald Trump's approach to foreign policy. He's forged close ties with leaders like Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu and Hungary's Viktor Orban, largely because they've demonstrated unwavering loyalty to him, both publicly and privately. Nigel Farage, the outspoken Brexit advocate and one of the few British politicians to stay in Trump's good graces, is yet another example of how loyalty can open doors in Trump's world. Farage's unwavering support for Trump, alignment with his policies, and shared values have only strengthened the bond between them.
Listen, my advice to Keir Starmer is to stop being an idiot, because, listen, Keir Starmer and half of the cabinet voted against President Trump's state visit last time round. We've got so many of members, David Lammy notably, having carried out vitriolic and ridiculous personal attacks on Donald Trump. They're all now desperately trying to backtrack, and they're all desperately trying to suck up to President Trump. You know, at best, they're going to be irrelevant, but at worst, they have done great harm to the UK's national interest. So they've got to grow up, stop playing petty student politics, and actually stand up for the UK, get a free trade agreement, work on ensuring our military and security agreements are robust, and learn the lessons of how Donald Trump is securing their border for a start.
Now, contrast this with Starmer's Labour Party. Under his leadership, Labour MPs were not just permitted but actively encouraged to support Joe Biden and the Democrats during the last US election. To Trump, this wasn't merely a difference in political opinion, it was a blatant act of betrayal. And in Trump's world, loyalty isn't just important, it's an absolute, non-negotiable standard.
Meeting Keir Starmer, the UK Premier.
Yes, he's coming tonight.
What do you think of him? Some of his colleagues in government are quite critical of you.
Well, I'm going to see him in about an hour, so I have to be nice, right? But I actually think he's very nice. I think he ran a great race. He did very well. It's very early, but he's popular, and I'll be seeing him, and I'll send you regards.
The US-UK special relationship has long been a pillar of international diplomacy, influencing everything from military alliances to intelligence sharing and shaping the global order. However, with Keir Starmer leading the Labour Party, the future of this historic bond appears increasingly uncertain. Trump's move to exclude Starmer from this critical diplomatic meeting signals the growing tension between the two nations and highlights the cracks in a partnership that has endured for decades.
It's history that our Prime Minister will not be there. Let's ask Tobias Ellwood what he makes of it. Tobias, very good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
It's pretty awful, is it not, that, you know, here we are, supposedly the friend of the United States, the special relationship that exists between the two countries, the long history of support for one another in times of war and in times of peace, and we don't have a seat at the table.
Yes, I don't understand the details of this, so we'll wait for government perhaps to clarify. But you're absolutely right that the United States is our closest security ally. And as we've discussed on your programme many times, the world is getting far more dangerous, far more unstable, and we need to be close with America to deal with the challenges that are coming over the hill.
This exclusion is far more than a symbolic gesture. It carries tangible consequences for Britain's role in global diplomacy and trade. With Starmer absent, the UK's influence at the table is significantly weakened. Critical decisions on international alliances, global security and trade agreements will proceed without Britain's input, potentially undermining its standing on the world stage for years to come.
If he wants to know what Conservatives would do, he should resign and find out. Until then...
I'll decide when there's more.
At home, Starmer is grappling with increasing criticism of his leadership. Detractors argue that the Labour Party, under his guidance, has failed to address the needs of everyday Britons. One of the most divisive issues is immigration, with many accusing Starmer of prioritising immigrants over British citizens. This perception has fueled resentment among those who feel their voices and concerns are being sidelined.
The UK inherited the fastest growing economy in the G7. Now it's a flatlining economy. You know, they inherited one with inflation down at 2%. You know, that's already crept back up with predictions it's going to go further. And obviously that massive jobs tax, absolutely hammering businesses and employees and people looking for jobs here in the UK. Totally the opposite of what is happening in America. So I hope our government will learn some of those lessons about that positive can-do approach that President Trump is going to bring to the White House.
Well, you'd like to think that
Starmer's exclusion from this pivotal diplomatic meeting with Trump goes beyond personal grievances. It's a statement about the future of US-UK relations. As the US continues to depart from traditional diplomatic practices under Trump's leadership, it's evident that his unorthodox style is here to stay, at least for now. This leaves Starmer facing a critical crossroads. Should he persist with policies that risk further alienating key allies, or pivot to rebuild the strained relationship between the UK and the US? The choice he makes could shape Britain's global standing for years to come.
There's actually a real opportunity here for the UK to set a new course. I think the Labour government have probably made that about as difficult as they could possibly have done, with some of the things that people like David Lammy have been saying about Donald Trump over the last few years, things like Sadiq Khan have been saying about him as well. I think, obviously that's quite difficult, but we have a really strong historic relationship.
If Starmer continues to clash with Trump, the UK's status as a key global player could be in jeopardy. However, if he can find a way to bridge the divide and repair relations with the US, there's still a chance to preserve the special relationship. Achieving this, though, will demand a significant shift in his leadership approach and a critical reassessment of the policies that led to this diplomatic strain in the first place.
How much is this you wanting desperately to be the UK ambassador in Washington?
Well, it's not going to happen, is it?
But how much is this about?
No. I am not going to be the ambassador, even though Trump would love it. I never disclose private conversations I have with Donald Trump. That's why he likes me and trusts me. But I have spoken to very...
Donald Trump has little regard for formalities or the traditional diplomatic norms Whitehall might expect. If Nigel Farage were to find himself on the opposition benches, he could easily become Trump's go-to connection to the UK. For Keir Starmer, that prospect poses a significant challenge, further undermining his influence and positioning in the eyes of one of Britain's most powerful allies.
Continuing to deliberately mislead the British people to continue suiting his own narrative. And I'm afraid all of this nonsense that he couldn't say anything is simply untrue. And it's not true to say that the nature of terrorism has changed. In 2016, the murder of Joe Cox,
Starmer's leadership stands at a critical juncture. On the home front, he faces mounting dissatisfaction from voters and divisions within his own party. On the international stage, the challenge is even greater, repairing the UK's strained relationship with the US. It's a daunting task, but one that Starmer cannot afford to overlook if he hopes to secure both his leadership and Britain's standing on the global stage.
Keir Starmer and Rachel from Accounts will look at any point in the next couple of years at what Donald Trump does and what happens to the American economy and to American society and think, maybe we should do some of that?
In the bigger picture, the UK's influence on the global stage hinges on strong leadership, both domestically and internationally. How Starmer navigates this diplomatic crisis will be a defining moment, not just for his leadership, but for Britain's future role in international affairs. His actions will determine whether the UK remains a key global player or risks being pushed to the sidelines in the years ahead.
Well, I love the people of the UK. I mean, I've loved them. They show great support for me. When they were doing that ridiculous thing about a couple of months ago, the people of the UK showed such great support. I love the people of the UK. My mother was born, as you know, in Scotland. She loved Scotland. She loved the Queen. She was a great person, and she loved Scotland.
Trump's decision to exclude Starmer from this meeting marks a new chapter in the ever-evolving UK-US relationship. It's a high-stakes test of leadership, loyalty and strategic diplomacy, with consequences that will resonate for years. The real question is, can Starmer step up, bridge the divide and restore the UK's standing with the US? Or will he remain on the sidelines, overshadowed by a president who places loyalty above all else? If you enjoyed this breakdown, like and subscribe to our channel for more updates like this, and we'll see you in the next video.